Hi there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Women on TV.tv, Women Worldwide TV Network. And I almost forgot for a minute there. I've been doing so many things. iTube 247 out of Tennessee. And all right, so I just love these shows. And the more I think about it, they've been almost all women's shows. That says something. That's actually pretty good. So, Sherry Nelson, we've got to talk about this because you've been bringing on a bunch of great people lately. So I'm going to have Sherry introduce her friend. Go ahead.
Hi, I want to introduce the beautiful and lovely Tharifa Wenrich. She is the essence of healthy living. Age has no number. I want to introduce her as someone that we can all learn from about living the best life that we can and preparing ourselves for a healthy foundation so that you would not be susceptible to any illnesses like the flu, COVID, or anything like that. So I'm pleased to introduce to you the intelligent and the very beautiful Tharifa.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm so humbled by that introduction. I feel so special. Thank you so much for having me here today. So I am from Singapore originally, and I live here in the beautiful island of Oahu in Hawaii. I'm a mother, a grandmother, and I just love life. And my mission is really to bring balance into life and living life to the fullest.
And you definitely do that. You know, your posts on your social media are very inspiring, and I know so many of us, men and women, we've been on, quarantine and, home arrest. So it's really nice to have you, and I'm happy that we were able to get you to come on and help us find a new path towards health. And I think also with you, it's also mostly a healthy mindset. So I was wondering what started you on your journey where you realized that, it's mind and body, but mostly mind to begin with.
Very good questions. Well, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about me going back into, my adolescence or young age. When I was a child, I was pretty much bullied in school, called names. I was called fatty and all kinds of names. So I always felt ugly and insecure, lack of self-confidence. And that pretty much kind of put a damper throughout, adolescent age. And I knew that I was very insecure, but my dad made a difference in my life. He pushed me to sports, and basically he said to me, which I, today I always remember, is that he said, if you want to do something different, you got to change your action, right? And it's all on the mindset. And he basically tells me that, if you do something and you fail, you just need to keep doing it until you get it right. So that has pretty much embedded in my mind. And I started sports, and I was really good at it after a while because I compete in softball, hockey, you name it. At first I was a little hesitant, but of course I gained confidence after doing it so much, because my dad always said practice makes perfect. And then I became really robust in all sports, and I was never really hanging out with girls. I was always hanging out with boys and always sports, until I got to the point where I was 18 years old. I actually started flying as a flight attendant at the time. And I was flying all over the world, and one day, and I worked out in the gym, and a guy came from New York. He's a guru in fitness, and he's been watching me, and he said, hey, I want to train you. And I'm like, train me for what? So I was kind of blown away, and he said, I've been watching you, and you're very dedicated. So I thought, holy smoke, this is something different, like somebody's noticing me, So
the ultimate compliment.
Well, it was very hard to take compliments when you always get bashed down, you know, at a young age. And you, even though I was good at sports, but, you know, I still have that kind of fear. And so when he said to me, I want to train you as a bodybuilder, I'm like, oh, no, thank you. Because all I think of bodybuilder is like having big muscles and look like a man. So I was a bit apprehensive. But then I always remember this with my dad too, saying, you know, if you don't try, you'll never know, you'll never find out. So I dive into it. And within 6 months, I was the national champion and represent my country.
That's impressive. Were you surprised that that happened?
I was, because I wasn't surprised of my commitment, because that's how I was raised and that's how I practice with, you know, what my dad has taught me. But I was surprised that I could achieve that in 6 months. I guess I surprised myself. Yeah, definitely. But I had a good coach. I had a great coach. He's from New York, and I was blessed. You know, he was amazing. He believed in me more than I believe in myself. And I had a mentor. I started a little research, and my mentor was Rachel Klish, and she was a phenomenal lady, and she was Miss Olympia at the time, twice, I think, Miss Olympia, or yeah, twice Miss Olympia. So her idea of bodybuilding is to really retain femininity and still look like a woman, not like a man. And at that time in 1983, that was the year, it was like steroid was, you know, a norm thing. Everybody's taking steroid, you know, even the women. But I didn't want to go there, of course. I did it naturally.
But Tarifa, that's so important that, and when you started out, your father knows best.
Yeah.
You know, if you try something and you don't succeed, it's in my opinion, I think it's the easy way out to accept defeat and stop. But you know, we're here in life in such a short amount of time that, you know, and if I don't succeed, I usually tend to take a little bit of time, like a couple days, and try and figure out where did I go wrong and try it again, because the only person you're truly proving and challenging is yourself. So that's really important. And when you started training with your men, what gave you the sense of discipline? What do you think gives you that structure?
You know, I love that question, because I live by that mindset. Is because if you know, we all it's called a developing attitude, winning attitude. If you want to really achieve something in life, it doesn't matter if it's bodybuilding, you want to have your health, you want to have anything that you want to achieve in life. There's two difference. Because the norm, like you say, you try everything and it didn't work, and that is like the should, you know, you should do this, you do all the things that is required, and yet you didn't see results, and yet you feel. But then there is the must. If you should, you will get the results at a level that is standard. But if you want to go higher, and if you want to see like result, and you have to really attain that goal in a sense that you really want to be up here, then you gotta have that attitude that this is a must, not a should. You know, does that make sense? Like, you know, when you say, yeah, I should and I must, there's two different reactions.
No, definitely. It's just, you know, I've had, you know, struggles like when I'm trying to, you know, pursue my avenues in lumber and things like that, you know, I know that there's a Me Too movement and a women's movement. And I like the essence of you, because, you know, if you don't succeed, you don't play the victim and blame someone. Instead, it's, to me, it's more important to figure, okay, where did I go wrong? And I need to fine tune that so I do it right. So I would rather focus my energy, as you do, and as Brian does with his shows, on something positive, and rather than waste that energy on negativity and victimization. So I like that you do, and that you started at a later date, and life does not end, at 40 or 45. So I think that's key. And like you said, your mindset is very important. And you're inspiring, because I think myself, I always look for strong, moving forward people, whether it's men, women, whichever. And because that's kind of like a cheat sheet. We have the luxury of technology now to find these people and kind of follow their lead.
Absolutely. I mean, they say that a strong woman is much more sexier, right? Is that true, Brian?
Absolutely. I've always liked women that were more mature because for me, for example, not a woman, but I'm around a lot of women, but always I was a late bloomer. So I've seen a lot more people the last couple of years who are late bloomers. And it's really good because it's inspirational for a lot of people. I tell these people that are young, don't expect to do everything, from 18 to 25. It doesn't work that way. Look at it as a marathon. It's a sprint. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I've always felt that, my God, going back to 1993, I've been saying that.
Yeah. It's good point. And Sherry, when you were saying about, when you fail at things and whatnot, see, the thing is, each time you get knocked down, you need to get back up, right? And it's just gonna give you the desire and reinforce your desire to get up and to really push the envelope. And that's when you see results, because if we all get knocked down because we all have stories. Who hasn't been victimized or wounded?
Yeah, well, and
I think,
you know what, if you don't get it right away, it makes the reward so much more enjoyable. So if everything was easy, it would, the challenge is great. It's good for the mindset. And yeah, so everything should not come easy. We need to have a sense of challenging ourselves, and God always has a plan. He only gives you what you can handle. So
absolutely. And I find that, throughout my life, I've been through, boy, those hills and valleys, up and down. And I see myself, I've never looked back and have any regrets, because what had happened in my life, it just makes me stronger, and it makes me want to, keep thriving and keep going. And the whole thing is, for me, is to do better than yesterday. This is my mission always, is to be better than I was yesterday in everything.
That's so important. Tharifa, so for some of us, that want to embark, coming out of this quarantine, if we were to begin a program or a new journey towards greater health, what would you suggest, food-wise, or perhaps, Brian and I's fun one is food-wise, and also, do you have a song or anything that inspires you in the morning that gets you going?
Okay, so as far as food-wise, I believe that food is medicine. I don't know. I think there's a saying, let thy food be the medicine, or something like that, right? Because it's unfortunate that these days, we live in a life surrounding us. Everything is fast. We want fast result. We want fast food. We want to get married fast, and whatever. We want house fast. Maybe not marriage, yeah.
For the record, I never wanted to get married fast.
Okay, maybe that was before. We're so conditioned that everything is fast. I mean, I'm the victim too. Always on the phone, fast answer. Where's the result? You Google something, you want the answer fast. But everything takes time. Everything takes time. So you need to develop. You need to, learn, get an education, or feed your brain with some knowledge, and take the time. You can't just have a quick answer. But the important thing is being consistent and committed, right? So my regimen for every day is, I wake up in the morning. If I can share with you my regimen, like, I believe that when you get up, you always have to have gratitude, right? Gratitude is important because the minute you wake up, actually, it's a new beginning. It's a new breath. People don't realize that. They always consider, because when you are not breathing, you're dead. So when you start your breath again, you're alive, right? So I believe gratitude. So I'm always thankful for the breath that I have in the morning. It's like, oh, I'm alive again. So definitely exercise. Exercise is key because as us women, premenopause, menopause, this is a very important subject that I want to touch on because about our age, is that study showed that our body fat declined 5% each decade. So I don't want to have any sagging skin and all that, because I want to feel better. I don't want to have injuries and then have that, because when you think about losing fat percentage, I'm talking about body fat, is that you really are immune to accidents that happen. People break their hip, their shoulder, their neck, and stuff like that. Sorry, I have a scratchy throat. But the importance of strengthening your bones, that all is key to aging gracefully and not having all that issues. So you need to do a daily regimen, of course. I mean, nothing is easy. It takes work. But once it becomes a daily habit, it's being present and just doing it, and you'll see the difference in your moods, in your mindset, in your attitude. Everything change. So daily exercise regime is pretty simple. Like, you can, for me, if I can share with you, I'm not a runner. Let me tell you, I hate running. uh, I was always in field track, but walking, a lot of people say, especially when you get 40, 50, and your body starts to change because of your hormones, your estrogen starts to go low, right? Your testosterone, your progesterone, or whatever, everything starts to kind of decline. The only thing that's going to make a change is for you to keep going and move your body, right? So that being said, I have a practice that I do daily. I definitely walk like 5 miles, sometimes 10. And when I say walking, I'm not just say strolling, I walk, I do power walk. And for people that cannot get there yet, of course, I always say baby steps. Take baby steps, and of course check with your doctor. Some people don't have the
Stamina.
energy, stamina, and they have issues with their heart. Always make sure you are on the right track. But once you start doing this, you'll see the difference in your endurance, your strength level. So power walk is great. Climbing up the hill, like during this quarantine, oh my goodness, let me tell you, I put on a little bit of weight too. I declare a few pounds. But what I did was, because I work out of home, right? I work out of home, and I always have meeting belly to belly. So with the quarantine, I wasn't able to do that. And it's a lot of virtual stuff happening. But I thought to myself, okay, this is enough. There was one period, a week straight, that I didn't, I was so caught up with stuff. I might just, go outside and do like a couple of rounds, but that wasn't enough. So I find myself gaining some weight and feeling a little bit, lethargic. Then of course, and I say, okay, enough, Tharifa, let's get on track. So I start putting myself food, like, energy food, right? And food is medicine. So what you eat is what becomes you. And this is a huge part of what I practice in my life, is eating real food. Do you guys know what real food is?
No, what is it?
The whole
Everything that comes from the ground is not something with all packaged and all ready to go. Real food, as much as you can, feed yourself with real food, like fresh vegetables, go to the farmers market. Farmers market is the best. If you can go to the farmers market, like some places in the winter time, go to a whole food place where you can get organic, fresh produce and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised, plant is medicine. Every plant has a healing properties. So if you focus on that, you will see that, you know, your skin starts to see difference, your body start to feel better, because, you know, what you get from the plant is what really your body needs. The problem is most of the time we do not see the physiology of a body, right? People always tends to assume things like, oh, you know, everything's gonna work its own way, you know. If I feel sick, well, it's just there's a pill or this and that. So, but if you listen to your body, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. You just need to really understand. So I would suggest do everything natural as much as you can. Like, you know, believe it or not, when I go work out, I used to take those energy, what do you call that? The smoothie, the shakes and all that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but some of them, you know, all this powder, you don't know, you might be allergic to it and stuff like that. And you keep taking it because everybody's doing it. But you know, you don't understand what your body's, what's happening to your body, then you start to have different stuff coming out. You know, you start to get bloated, you start to feel tired in the middle of the day. That's all because of what intake, right, that you put in your body. So I start to learn. I'm a self-taught kind of girl. I start to learn and I listen to my body. When I see something that I take is not working, then I say, okay, that's not for me, or at least not that right time. Perhaps my immune system is weak. Then I need to strengthen my immune system. So there's a lot of factors that you want to really look at. But the main thing is, if you eat real food, make a habit of that and do your exercise and do some, you know, education, get some education, take up some books and read, learn about something that you don't know about, like your body, for instance. A lot of people.
Yeah, Teresa, I know as I get older, if I have, you know, sodas or, you know, the snack foods for movies, I get that hangover feeling like you talk about, because that's not a whole food. It's not a natural food. But when you wake up in the morning and you're thankful and you know, thank God I'm breathing. What is your go-to drink or breakfast that you do before you exercise that starts your day on the right track?
Great question, because I used to eat breakfast, I used to eat lunch, I used to eat dinner, like 3 meals a day, like, you know, the standard, the normal things that people do. But after doing a lot of research, after listening to my body, after studying a little bit of Ayurvedic lifestyle, I literally make a switch, because the body actually, in Ayurvedic, the body needs the fire in your stomach is called Agni. That is your engine, like in the car. So that is where your immune system is. And that's why a lot of us have weak immune system, and that's why the allergy comes in, the disease comes in, is because we have a really weak digestion system. So we want to strengthen it. The main thing, the first thing I wake up, I have a lemon water, hot lemon water. You guys heard of lemon water, right?
Yep.
Right.
And that is that for the liver? It's what is the purpose of, and I know there's a difference between warm and hot. What does that do for the body?
Good question. Because I'm not a cold drinker. This was taught by my mother, who's a natural healer. I couldn't understand at the time we were kids, like drink hot water with a lemon and don't drink while you're eating. I couldn't understand that, but you know, it took me how many years, decades, to really understand what mom was trying to tell us, what she was teaching. I don't think she even knew, but she kind of, you know, the old school she has learned from parents. And she said to me, never drink cold water when you're eating too. So I'm like, and we are not allowed to drink cold water actually. So while we're eating. So what happened is I wake up in the morning and I always have this hot lemon water. So what it brings your alkaline level up because the body is toxic from all kinds of stuff. So, you know, instead of buying that for me, I'm speaking for myself again here. It's my experience and what I have seen difference. It may not be for everybody. And I know a lot of people go into Keegan water or the alkaline. For me, it's simple. I go naturally and I don't have to spend so much money because all I put is hot water and lemon. I drink it every single morning before I start anything. After I brush my teeth, that's the number one thing I do. And then I will have my turmeric. When I work out, I used to drink all those drinks, shakes and whatnot, right? The energy stuff. But I made a switch and I have coconut water, I have ginger, I have mint in my coconut water, and sometimes I put lime. It depends. Sometimes I put, you know, I can mix and mix it around, but depending on how I feel with my body. But mainly every day I have coconut water, ginger, mint, and lime, because the coconut gives me electrolytes. So I'm working out, I'm thirsty. Instead of having water, I need that. And I don't eat till like 12 o'clock. Even if I have 2 hours power workout, strength workout, whatever. It's because I'm not hungry. My body is conditioned and my immune system is strong. So I'm not, because you're high glycemic, you need the sugar or food all the time. That means your immune system is weak still. So you need to strengthen that. I listen to my body. That's how I learn, and it works.
Yeah. I heard about the warm water. Warm water is actually better for you than cold, obviously, no matter what. That's hard for a lot of people to do, but it is definitely the case.
Yeah, and Brian, it's not like I'm saying I'm drinking warm water 24/7 and I never drink cold water. I do, but the idea is just to give you some example, like analogy. This is my own analogy. It's like your car is, you're ramping up your car and you're starting your car. The engine, right? The engine of the car is just like the stomach, your digestive system. So when you're ramping up your car, and what happens? You want to get going, right? You want to start the car and drive somewhere. Same thing when your stomach is in the daytime, you put that hot water, lemon water, and it's ready. And your stomach conditioned. You wake up, you're gonna start to put food in and stuff. So what happened is you put cold water. The agni is fire inside, lots of acid. So you shut the engine down with the cold water, and it is totally shut it down. And then you push yourself and get going. And that's when you have digestive issues, because you're putting all kinds of food and your digestive system is trying to work really extra hard to break down all those food and, doing its work. Does that make sense?
Tharifa, what is the benefit of the turmeric and the benefit of the mint in your regimen?
So the turmeric definitely has a really great property. It's now you see the turmeric is a trend. If you notice, you go everywhere, there's always turmeric. Curcumin, right? It's the curcumin in the turmeric. It's a form of ginger. Everybody is talking about turmeric. Everybody's labeling some, snacks. Everything has turmeric. When I grew up, turmeric is part of our daily diet. It's like, it's in the backyard. We grow it, we eat it. It helps your blood sugar level. It is anti-inflammatory, right? It's great for your skin. I use turmeric and other stuff sometimes to make a paste on my skin. So there's so many properties. I gotta share with you. My husband, he's a East Coast boy. All he's known is meat and potatoes. Nothing wrong with that. That's how he grew up in the farm. But he is so open and he's learning. Now he doesn't go off the door without having his turmeric drink. And he has better stamina. He's an Air Force retired. He's beat up so many times, and he has all kinds of injuries. And now, thank God for, you know, the daily regimen and switching to more real food and being committed and being consistent. Consistent is the holy grail. I always say that. So then he'll, you know, he start to see himself progress and see results. And then he's showing off now. Hey, you should drink turmeric. Hey, you should have turmeric. Now he's an advocate and telling his coworkers. So it's, to me, it makes my heart smile because people, some of them people don't understand or don't know. So we need to be the voice. We need, you know, what we learn, we need to share, and we need to be the voice.
What does the mint do for you, Teresa?
Yeah, the mint is very settling. It kind of cools the body down, and it helps maintain balance too. There's so many goodness in all these plants. And let me tell you, I cannot, I say to my husband, I can live without meat. I cannot live without a plant. And he said, how about me? Can you live without me?
Teresa, so when you go to bed at night, do you have something that settles your body and lets it heal while you sleep? Do you take something for that as well?
Well, guess what? Can I share with what I'm taking now? It's part of my business too. I take this.
Oh, okay. Oh, we have to know about your business then. What does that product do?
This is CBD. I'm not sure. Are you guys familiar with cannabis?
Yes.
All right.
It's legal in Canada now, so we're learning more and more.
Now, what do you know about cannabis, Sherry? Do you know that what is cannabis, and do you know where CBD comes from?
Well, I've been learning things about hemp and things like that, and I know if you plant a hemp plant into some soil, it will soak up all the toxins into the plant, and then once the plant is full grown, destroy the plant because it's full of the toxins. So then you've got a healthy, clean soil for a more thriving garden, and so I'm hoping that is what your product is going to do.
That's good. I'm so impressed. I was just testing, but you know, hemp and marijuana is two different plants. So people have a confusion a lot of times, which I was there too, because the marijuana is the one that gets you high. Nothing wrong with that if you like to get high all the time, but the hemp, the hemp that gets you healthy, really, it is a balance, of course. With a little THC is good. I always tell people and explain to them, like, you know, you have the citrus, you have the lime and the lemon. They come from the citrus family, so it's the same. So cannabis, you have the hemp, you have the marijuana. The difference, of course, the THC in the marijuana is very high and very low in CBD. And the hemp plant has loaded of CBD and other cannabinoids. So the cannabinoids that actually what our body produces, we have two CBD receptors in our body, CB1 in our brain and CB2 in the gut. So again, plant is medicine, right? Food is medicine. It's coming naturally. So I take this, it helps me maintain my overall, see, people say, oh, can it cure this? It cures that. It doesn't cure anything. It promotes homeostasis in your body. When your body is in a balanced state, you start to feel the energy is higher. You start to see your immune is stronger. And I can't remember the last time I have a cold. I don't remember. I don't remember the last time I feel, you know, sick or whatever, unless I eat something wrong, you know, something that doesn't jive with me. Although I caught a flu and influenza 2 years ago where I had to learn how to walk again, believe it or not. This girl high, yeah. So nobody believed, you know, until they saw me in the hospital. But see, the reason I started this was, it was my anxiety when it was about, I must say 2003, somewhere around there. It's 17 years ago. I had a traumatic incident with a relationship, and I wasn't in a good place, and I developed really bad anxiety after, and it continued to get worse when I hit the big 50. And it was getting so worse that my doctor says, you know, you need to get on this medication. And I don't believe in medication. I've never taken one. Even though I was in the emergency room like 3-4 times a year in the last 6 years, actually, maybe a little bit more, but 3-4 times in the emergency room. And one day, it was 2 years ago, I researched, and this is what I found that has been helping me, and it has totally changed my life. I mean, I'm always good, I'm always healthy, but I end up in the hospital because I can't really claim anything as far as compliance, medical terms, we can't claim anything. But this magic plant has saved me and saved many others too in all types of elements. It's just that it brings the body into homeostasis state. So I'm so blessed and thankful. And my doctor was blown away. She's like, what the heck? She didn't see me for a year since my journey with this. She said, we thought you left. I said, what do you mean leave? I left. She said, well, yours pretty serious, you know? So she's my business partner now, and I'm helping her clients or her patients. I do house call and help, you know, a lot of women, a lot of men that is struggling. And it's not about selling stuff. It's all about educating them, knowing what to find, what's the right thing, and be very diligent, because this CBD is a wild, wild west out there. You've got to know what you're getting into.
We got about 30 seconds, so give your website and social media links.
It is www.mydailychoice.com/healing element. Healing
Yours.
element. Sorry?
Oh, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, that's it.
And Sherry?
Facebook, Sherry Nelson, Instagram, Twitter, XOXO, Sherry XO.
And so for Tharifa and Sherry, hey, this is fun. You're very, very informative. I really, really like that. And the audience will like that too. I want to thank you for being on Movie Reviews and More and Women on TV and iTunes 247.
Well, thank you so much. I'm just so humble and privileged to be here, because the only mission I want is people to understand that, you know, it is all about, you know, having the strength from the inside and then also the outside. Because being a woman, we're always so conditioned that, you know, you get to an age, that's it. You lose your energy, you lose this, you